in Finland in September 2019 from the first No Labels, No Walls festival. The film also will show some of the scenes that are reimagined for the next version of the production through a series of paintings. The second teaser will show is from our upcoming documentary titled Hustling and Other Stories. Strindberg has been working on this documentary film about their company since 2013. During that time, they have created many productions with people from all walks of life and from diverse backgrounds. This documentary will share the stories of all the people who have been performing and working with them for all these years.
So they first played the 1.5 minute video.
Wait, we're on now.
We are now?
Yeah. Oh, hey.
We are live.
Okay. Oh, Lassie, can you play the video first? First is a teaser for our upcoming documentary that we're doing.
We are the Strindberg Laboratory.
Yes. And Lassie's gonna hit it.
The Strindberg Laboratory began in Helsinki, Finland with the production of August Strindberg's Miss Julie. The name, the Strindberg Laboratory, was the brainchild of the Strindberg Laboratory artistic director Meri Pakarinen. It came through a vision of producing a string of Strindberg plays. The laboratory part of the theater's name was inspired
Wait, what are you talking about? That's the old story. We never made one single Strindberg play in LA. We directed Romeo and Juliet, MCJ K6G Unit, we directed Hustling at the Volunteers America, we did The Thing with the Birds by Aristophanes.
Stop, Michael! You're just listing things. Our work is not about quantity, it's about quality.
What are you talking about? We just do things, and then one thing leads to another thing.
Yeah, hey, you're right. That's how we operate. Let's do documentary about that.
All right, that sums it up. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's our story.
That's our story.
Very compact form.
So we're gonna go just real quick to just a quick slideshow. Thank you. We're going to go to a slideshow, just kind of explaining just some of the work we've done, and then going into our then the next production of that we're doing when we can because of the corona. So Strindberg Laboratory been around since 2013, not that long. Oh, let me minimize it. And let me put it on full screen. So we haven't been around 2013, and we basically are a theater company based in Los Angeles, and we have an RU in Finland.
And sometimes we are mistaken by a medical laboratory, especially in prison. So
we are not. We are the Strindberg Laboratory. Martha's calling. Let's hang up. So basically, in 2013, we began to work in the jails. We worked with transgender, LGBTQ segment of the population in the Men's Central Jail, which is the largest jail system in the country. That began our work, and then after that, they asked us, "Hey, what are we going to do when when we get out?" And we're like, "Well, we don't, we want to work with you still." So that's when we formed this our Jails to Job program. And
we started having classes first outside, and then we started our real production.
Yeah.
with the people.
We're still at the jails. We've met with a lot of great people there. It's been a long time. You've been there. Yeah, for a long time.
We're still there, except now it's on hold. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do theater. We're doing theater there. We're also in that the Linwood CDRF, which works with women as well for the jails, and we're still there. This is a quick little video about the just about some of our jail work. We'll only play like 30 seconds of it. And
that was when we first started in the jails. We started working with the Romeo and Juliet. So those clips were from that. It wasn't real production, but we worked scenes and we read it and then they made their own interpretations.
And then after that, like we said, we did our Jail to Job program, and we did 2 main stage shows with that, Hustling the Birds. We also started working with people who had different disabilities, specifically with autism spectrum. And we did, through our Jail to Job program, Doroka's Curious Journey and Murder and Mystery and Mayhem.
Yeah, and what the Jail to Jobs program means, we had some people who we met with the jails, other people who we worked who were in our program, and then we kind of integrated with the shows we did. So it was kind of an integrated cast and working group.
And that was the first time that people, or at least that we know, that people with criminal history were allowed to work with people with disabilities because of the background checks. I don't know if that's changed at all, but when we started, it was one of the first times that's ever happened, at least in LA. And this is just a quick 1-minute kind of thing we'll show from Hustling.
We started in a small room on the 9th floor of Volunteers for America's Skid Row location in Los Angeles. 6 months later, we ended up doing this project, Hustling.
High stakes partakers in the lake of fire, up, Lord. In the fast lane, fast life in the streets, brothers kill for the bread and meat. It's sad to say, but it's something like a never-ending loser street. Damn, the battle of a lost soldier, life affairs, entangled by the dark cobra.
Let's do these plays with their stories with a theme. It developed into their own stories. We saw this great need to speak. And then after that, we did
we continued working with the Fact Family, and this is one of the shows we did 2 years ago.
Here's Princess Jasmine. So, we want to welcome everybody to our show.
And then from that, we started working in the prisons. So we actually started in Lancaster, which is the only prison in Los Angeles, which again is the biggest prison system in the country, in Los Angeles specifically, but also in California. But we started in the B Yard, which was in Lancaster, which was had actually, when we started, was one of the first programs that actually came into that yard. So it was coming in from a place where they didn't have any programs because of what happened in the 90s and then the 2000s with the defunding of programs in the state. So it was very challenging, but what came from it was a play called Redemption in Our State of Blues, which was really, really well received. And then after that, about 4 other plays in the prisons. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, and you know, when the performances are getting really intense, when you have the kind of a balcony where the guards are with the sniper guns, and when you're in the middle of the performance, them you know, charging the guns. So or you know, we were first really ambitious. We decided to have whole week of performances, morning, an afternoon performance, and we had every performance had a lot of people coming from outside to see it. So I think we had one performance that wasn't interrupted by the
by like a lockdown or something like that.
Yeah, by the emergency. So
it was an experience, but we wanted to show.
It's worth it.
And we wanted to show you an excerpt from it. This is Jimmy. I think he's still incarcerated. A lot of the people we worked with were lifers. Some are now getting out. A lot of it's due to the corona, but he's an amazing spoken word artist.
Distorted reflections. I stare at the mirror bereft. Do I look into my own eyes? Too busy searching for imperfection. Too busy grooming, prissing, and preening. I spend hours looking, but never seeing. And when I do see, I am my own worst enemy. At times I know what that man in the mirror knows. Sometimes I wonder, am I staring at him, or is he staring at me? Is this acronym for fear the same fear that I fear? Is it face everything and react, or forget everyone and run? We are merely ripples in this pond. Dawn can be held at bay no longer, and they say what kills you not should only make you stronger. And if so, then I must be E-man to 3 men, because the hold this weight that succumbs me lower, and the curve in my spine is from the weight of the world on my shoulders. And the wise man once asked me, was I a warrior or soldier? And I had to reply, but now I know the world is colder, and we are the heat that supplies the streets, the mouthpiece to the masses, whether they're Christians or Arabics, Muslims who break fasts when daylight passes, Jews who pass over to Catholics that hold masses, to agnostics that ask questions, and passing the passion of the youth to the different social classes, to the prisoners that wait patiently for these laws to pass for us. I am more than just an image. I am Phoenix, rising from the ashes, and my war call was shattered in funhouse mirrors. So when you hear me go, I am calling to all spirits to rise above these earthly times, to spread the truth, to combat the lies. So when that question arises, how about you?
So,
yeah, that was where we performed in the gym.
So what happened was we got really kind of after that we got kind of a little bit depressed, because we realized everybody we met who we really enjoyed working with probably weren't getting out, at least not in the foreseeable future. And when they did get out, they really, in America, they don't really have a place to go where there's back in there with a collaborative model where it had higher education, because we're one of the first, and I don't know, we were, I think, one of the only college credited classes inside the prison system for theater. So everybody got 2 college credits for joining, and we had a counselor come. So what we did was we formed a partnership with Los Angeles Mission, Los Angeles City College, and joined this program called Break It to Make It, which is still going on at LACC, which gives higher education, housing, and a place to stay, because most people going to community colleges are either homeless in America or doing it part-time, working like 3 jobs. So it's a pretty dire state. So we formed that. It was the first time that higher education actually went into the Skid Row area, which is the highest rate of homelessness in the country, and then that correlates with highest rates of incarceration in the country, since they go hand in hand. So that was something that was novel, and this is just a really quick. We're not going to play too much of what the program was. It is. We don't want to keep playing, but basically it's still going on. I think there's over, I think like over 200 people now at LACC. It's been funded by the state to continue. We're really proud that it's still continuing. And one of the things we did, which actually was talked about in last,
Yeah, was the Freedom Festival, our first festival that we did. So what we're having now is the third, and it was we had it in Los Angeles City College. And here's the little video about it.
And the theme was freedom for all or freedom for none, because if one person's not free, nobody is. And that was the theme of the festival. And we had over 1,000 people attending. It was a 2-day event. It was the largest festival in history, recent history at LACC, because we outreached the community and we got a lot of non-students coming, which hopefully then propelled them to take college. Sorry, I'm trying to play this thing. We're almost done.
I'm here to tell you about destruction of all the evil that will have to end.
And there's more. But the last, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop the share. We went kind of quickly, but we want to just go right now, and then we want to definitely get interactions, also hear about what everybody else is doing and how hopefully we can collaborate in the future. But we want to go now to our project that we're working on besides the No Labels, I guess, yeah, and then after that we did No Labels, No Walls. We forgot about that.
And we did the Macbeth, the Conqueror and Conquer there. And for once we wanna, we can't let go. So the next project is going to be Macbeth Reimagined. And the film that's coming, it's like we've been working the whole spring, almost until now, going through every scene and kind of imagining how we actually would like to have it visually and staged and everything.
We do want to say real quick about No Labels. So the first festival happened last year in Helsinki. We had 5 countries. Now, obviously, it's a lot more countries because it's all virtual. We had 1,000 people attending. That was done through grassroots movement. It's through basically meeting everybody. And it was important to us because after the Freedom Festival, we realized that freedom for all and freedom for none means that we need to have integrated audiences. We need to have integrated systems, integrated collaborations where people can be free of stigma, because that's the only way we found through art that people were able to be seen for who they are, is when it was different people doing different things together. So that was really important. We were lucky enough to work with Kukanari and then work with everybody else who also helped to create this festival, last year's festival and this year's festival. So we got really lucky when we moved out to Finland for a year and helped to create that. So that being said, Daniel, is Lasse gonna play the video now for Macbeth?
Yes, I hope he will. You ready, Lasse?
Him from here. So Lasse, we ready?
We're ready, Lasse.
Yeah, push. Yeah.
Well, thanks. Is it going back? Thanks, everybody. That was we're making a children's book out of that, and then also an abridged version of that, so people instead of cliff notes can, when they're studying Macbeth. Anyways, just a couple jokes. But thank you all for watching. That was basically about the production, what we're hoping, after COVID to do. And Mehdi did the artwork.
Yeah, I did the artwork, but the reason why we did it, it's not like I'm an artist or anything, but
She is an artist.
But we needed to kind of remember visually what was the visual kind of vision, what we had, and actually painting this. So we went through every scene and we designed and talked about and thought about every single scene, everything. And then now looking back, it really helped to actually paint them because they are like the stage, like the sets and the lights and everything. So 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 now we know what to do. We can just show her, picture and for the set designer and the light designer. Okay, do this.
So that being said, we want to make sure we had enough time to to talk with everybody who's here, and anybody wants to join in, because the thing is, how do we, I guess, like, what questions do you have for us, but also we want to know, like, what do you see kind of moving forward for your group, for the people you work with? How can we kind of collaborate together, and what things are we kind of doing that's in common? I guess that's something we're interested in learning about. And we have Josh here, who's in Daroca and all our shows. So.
And he's also going to be in the art show on Saturday, and then the Mystery Theater horror show. That's at noon Pacific time. So he's one of the actors.
So Josh or Daniel, Paula, Pia, Cindy, Tim, if you have anything to say it now.
Okay, Daniel.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought, because I came to your performance last year.
Oh.
And yeah, it was amazing. Honestly, I was blown away. So yeah, I just wondered, what was the inspiration behind that to reimagine Macbeth, or how do you come up with that type of creativity?
Well, first of all, we didn't have anything else to do. We didn't have any ideas. So, and we started, I think we started in January. We got a space, so we went for the two of us to rehearsals to Vortex, where we rehearsed a lot of plays. And so we were there like at least once a week, and we did a lot of notes. And then when the COVID started, we had gone almost through the whole play. And then we thought, like, oh, let's see what we did. And we didn't remember everything. So then we thought, well, let's start drawing and painting the scenes, so we really remember, because the notes were not that.
And the big thing is because also Macbeth is in our lives, like. This idea of power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, is something that it's in every community. It's a human condition. The more we go into working with, so many different communities. I mean, we just touched upon people with disabilities, with people, college students, immigrants and refugees, homeless, addiction, you name it. We probably worked or did a play with them. Those people, is that number one, people like, in the way what Dara was saying yet a couple days ago, is people aren't just one thing, they're multiple things. And then the second thing is that every time someone moves up, it's almost like the majority of time, it's like they move up, but what about everybody else? So it's philanthropy in general is help the few while the many suffer. That's what we believe that's the model now. So Macbeth is such a great way, universal way to tell that story of what happens to everybody when they get too much power. And that's why we continue wanting to do it, because it's really where we're at, I think, as a whole, and what we're really faced against, which is Macbeth's fate, which is mutual destruction, which really is the climate emergency. So unless we start working together, everyone says, well, we got, it's going to take time. Well, I look outside and it's smoky and hazy in LA. It's like, how much time do we have, to get things together? Not much.
And one thing, what didn't really come through with the paintings, it was my lack of skills, is, and when we do the reimagined production, is that it's going to be more interactive.
Yeah.
So we're going to include the audience in it. We're going to have a bigger around the people. We're going to have a person who's going to be it's going to be a little bit like forum theater. So we're going to have scenes and things that are going to be reimagined on the spot too.
And what other questions does everybody have? Like, again, what are you doing? Yes, Paula.
Yes, maybe now a couple of comments. First of all, thank you for the amazing work, and also like for these drawings, I've been enjoying. I must say, also on Facebook, time to time, I see that you post or these things are. I think they are really vivid, and sometimes, yeah. And also, this was also a nice idea to re-elaborate the photos, like so. So that's true. It's been nice to see. No, and I was thinking that's true. Maybe we can connect this theme of power, what we were talking before, like also with Catalysti, and of course, because you show very well what is this destructive side of power, of course, of absolute power, and yes, of course, it's a great text, and it is always very, very actual. And yeah, that's true. No, I was wondering about, no, I had a question about actually your activity, but I can understand maybe it's a bit on the pause now, because how about these workshops and these things that you were showing now this year? So were you able at all to work with these other communities or not?
Well, the jails have been closed already for months. We were doing a workshop in Los Angeles Mission when it was closed. We actually started one workshop there again through Zoom until they had a COVID outbreak, and they couldn't go to the computer room, so we only had like 3 sessions. I've been working with a project with the young actors ensemble. For example, Joshua is part of that, and we did the Mystery Theater horror show film, and we're gonna continue with that. But other than that, it's
well, of course, it's pretty hard. Yeah,
especially here because
all the theaters are closed.
Everything's closed.
Yeah,
the situation has been quite bad. Yeah.
Especially with people who are poor, which is predominantly people of color. It's just because of so many reasons, it just never went away. This whole outbreak, and so many people died here.
Yeah, that's true. That's something I read here too, or it's been in Finland too, unfortunately. Then it was commented that like the more disadvantaged populations have suffered so much more from the COVID. Because of course they do the most humble works, and they are more exposed, and all these things.
And that's why it's so great, like these festivals and what we're trying to do. And also is that, a lot of people don't know about the healthcare system, let's say in Finland, and they don't know that, how you all in Finland were able to kind of clamp down and not have so many deaths. And why is that, as opposed to here?
Like here, people don't go to hospitals or things until they're really sick.
Right.
If you
sure. I don't know. No, that's a big problem, big difference. Even if I must say that's true, here it's great to have this public health system. The other thing we are maybe lucky for, and it's not a choice, it's just that there are few people, and and square meters. So that's another big difference.
I think per capita we're one of the highest, and I think that's a per capita rate. So clearly dealing with that. But and it's going back to your power. I mean it's like what you're all doing now in for your upcoming exhibit with power. It definitely, there's some overlap there as well, the themes. So 100%. It's great. We can't fly to Finland, but
I know. That's really a pity. But let's hope that it will maybe change soon.
Any other questions or anything at all from anybody? Comments, Cindy? I know you've known us now for so long, and Cindy works with or used to work with people who were first language students, which is just an amazing program. Do you have anything you want to say at all about what you do, or about how it kind of overlaps with us? Or you're on silent, Cindy. Silent. You're on silent. Unmute yourself. There you are.
No, I didn't have any questions specifically, no, but I think the work you've been doing is amazing. It's really mind-boggling, the stuff you've been doing. So
thanks, Cindy.
Congratulations, you guys rock.
Oh, thanks.
Mm.
Joshua, how's your experience going with doing all the plays you've been in with us?
Yeah, it's good. It's been the place about we worked on the shows we worked on, and it was it was great. It was fun, and yeah, the shows even before we did Dorothy and this, and we did. Oh yeah, the one that,
Europa,
well,
that was fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was the experience working with you in Strindberg, and yeah,
Oh,
it was
great,
great.
Josh. And we're so excited about Josh is showing his art. He's going to be showing, he's part of the film, so we're so excited. Tim, I know you're on, you're not being seen, but hey, Ian, how are you? We're just finishing up on our thing, but yeah, Ian's going to be doing his show, which we'll talk about in shortly. So we can't wait to see that, and that's up next. Tim, anything you want to say? I mean, we met last year. We saw your show, your one-man show, which was fantastic.
Have you been acting since we saw it?
No, absolutely not.
Well,
Maybe later.
what did you experience? Like, yeah, so we do theater. Is there any overlap, like what you were doing when you were doing your show? Any themes that stuck out? I know you were talking about mental health so much in your show. Is there anything you kind of want to share?
Well, I don't know what I would like to share, but I think in future, I think we can actually make different things together. I'm really sure about that. Actually, as a power, as I have, well, I had in English. No, you know.
Subject.
Yeah, it is a really good subject, and we also talk about a lot of that in Finland. So I'm sure we in future we can make something great together.
Thanks, Tim. Great.
What show has Tim done? Did I miss something?
Yeah, he did. What was the name of it, Tim?
Riisuttu elämä. It was my life story, basically.
Okay.
Is it on YouTube or someplace where I can see
Absolutely not. No.
Will you perform it again now?
Right now, Tim. Get up.
No.
No, it was really powerful one-man show and
great.
really,
Wow.
deep and courageous. And yeah, he did really fantastic job.
And Pia, anything you want to say? You've been so silent.
Yeah.
It's scary. I'm waiting for
I got the drift earlier when I was talking to Mary, and I said I could talk about that topic till the cows come home, and she said, "Yeah, we know." So I'm not saying anything. No, I mean, I just also wanted to say I think it's just amazing, and you're so humble. I mean, you almost forgot to talk about No Labels, No Walls.
Yeah. Well, we forgot. But I tell you, it's interesting. In all our big programs, and our big, it's all because of the people we get to work with. I mean, Pia, Cindy, you all went to the senior centers after, our first festival ended. Paula, you've been so amazing with Catalisti, Lasse, Daniel now working. I mean, this isn't No Labels. Certainly could never been done by two people. It was done by everyone, and that's what's so great. It's like we're a part of something.
We don't have enough labels between us, so we.
No, and it's true, and I think because and what's so great about No Labels too, I will say, is that everybody means something different to everybody. So no one can be against it because it doesn't exist.
And
We're all one. We're all one.
Yeah. But one thing that I personally find really important about No Labels, No Walls is like that it gives a platform to people who might not usually want to come out into the light and take center stage.
Absolutely.
And so I think that is just really amazing, empowering people in that way.
And absolutely, and it's like there's two things an actor needs, an artist needs: a platform and a platform, and a passion and a platform.
And the audience.
And the audience.
In the audience, yeah.
And of course, a great chance to learn new things.
Exactly, 100%. And it's like everybody has something to say, and everybody's just waiting for someone to hear them.
Yeah.
And, it's like, and that's what, for No Labels, that's what, at least for us, that's what it means. It's like, you know, what do you want to say? Sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, how can we connect and then work together in the future? And that's, you know, because we're all kind of in this together, you know, whether we want to admit it.
Oh, hell. But when are you moving to Finland?
Yeah, for permanently.
When fires come and take our house, then I guess we'll have to.
It's raining outside here, so you're safe to come.
And I wanted to bring, since you're here, I want to bring you in the conversation. I know we just met. Ian did his other show, which was about Harry Bridges, which is the union organizer, and it was fantastic. And now he's going to be sharing his other one-man show upcoming. But I don't know if you caught any of what we were saying. Is there anything, Ian, you wanted to say?
About my film?
No, we're just talking
just
about
life.
in general. Is there anything that you kind of got from doing the Action Monday, from like what you know about No Labels, No Walls, that kind of?
Well, I don't know that much, but what really impresses me is how international it is. And a really interesting, unusual combination of cities and therefore people. And I think that's how movements begin. You have to plant seeds, if you can, all over the world, and then gradually they hopefully grow. So that was probably the single thing that attracted me most to this whole festival. That plus the fact, as you just said a few minutes ago, that almost anyone can have their time to speak. You don't have to be a professional, or you don't have to be an expert in any particular field. So you might get some people saying some slightly wacky things sometimes, but that's okay, because that's part of the process of then people responding. So I like that kind of looseness. When you first approached me, Michael, I was a little reluctant, because I feel like I'm very straight ahead, traditional actor, writer, perform, make a film, get it on television, but you know. But it's really nice that I feel completely at home along, with everybody else. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's great to hear. Well, thank you, Ian, for coming. And we're just so excited, you know, to be a part of this, you know, to be, you know, in this festival. And just so everybody knows, yesterday we had 4,000 people watching the Facebook, only the Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of people.
And then additionally through the website, there were like 800,000 people.
Yeah. Hi, Susan. Hi, we're just finishing up. She went off. Okay. But please, so we're going to wrap it up. It's 9:53. I've got to now promote Ian's upcoming thing on our social media, because it's every program you guys get your bump. So please, everybody, stay with us. Ian's going to be showing you some. How long is the film, Ian?
It's about 16 minutes.
Okay, so 16 minutes. You're going to see a great film. And we're going to get an introduction, and then Ian's going to announce it. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. And that being said, thank you.
And then we'll, anybody who wants to return back to Zoom or come join to the discussion.
Please do, yes.
So we should turn the Zoom off now, because you're going to show the film first?
Yeah, about 15. Yes, we're gonna have a little break, 5-minute break, and then come right back. And
okay.
I think it's 4 days of the No Labels, No Walls Festival.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
And we got 2 more. We got 2 more to go. Unbelievable. The next.
Yeah, but it's been so awesome.
And the theme's gonna be "We didn't make it," and with an exclamation point, because it's just, this is crazy. I mean, not crazy. Sorry, this is a lot. So anyways, thank you all so much for joining in, and stay tuned.
Thank you, and thank you for connecting so many people. That's true. I think you are really good in these. Like, that's amazing. Yeah.
Susan, did you want to say anything?
Just hello, guys.
Yeah.
Hello, Susan. Thanks for joining. Where are you joining us from?
I'm in the Isle of Man.
All right.
Oh, Susan. I was like, who?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Susan, thank you so much. Coming.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. I will try to join again.
What'd you say, Susan?
I said that I will try and join again.
Okay, sounds great. Ian's coming up next, so stay tuned. Lasse, our great production team. Hello, Lasse.
Does Susan know how to go over to where the video will be, so we don't lose her?
Right now.
Okay, good.
Ian, Lasse, let me know when we're off, and then we can. Are we off? Yes. Lasse, are we off? No, we're still on.
So
We are
Michael,
still
I
on.
just stay here, do I?
What? Yeah, you just stay here.
No.
Lasse's going to switch to a commercial break. Are we on a commercial break?
No, we are still live.
The air.
Hello, world.